Leo, my friend, you talk about winning the World Cup like it was some monumental achievement. Let's be honest, that was less about you and more about divine intervention. A few questionable referee decisions, and an entire nation collectively holding their breath until they turned blue. You basically dragged that team over the finish line, looking like a tired old man pushing a broken down car. Me? I just needed to show up, strike a pose, and let my aura win us the Euros. Effortless. You look like you'd wrestled a bear, while I just casually strolled through a garden. And speaking of effort, I've got more abs than you've got legitimate hair transplants. I work out so hard, my sweat smells like pure ambition. You probably think a deep-fried empanada is a balanced meal. That's why I'm still scoring hat tricks at an age when most players are struggling to find their car keys. You'll be lucky if you can still tie your boots without assistance in 5 years.
Cristiano, divine intervention, is what happens when you pray to God that your teammates actually pass you the ball for once. And questionable referee decisions usually go your way, especially when you're dramatically flopping inside the box like a dying swan. My World Cup win was a culmination of a lifetime of dedication, a testament to true talent. Yours was more like a participation trophy after years of trying to carry a team that secretly wished you'd just pass the ball for once. And your abs? Are they still made of actual muscle? Or are they just meticulously airbrushed shadows at this point? You spend more time preening in front of a mirror than you do practicing your weaker foot. You're so obsessed with your image, I bet your reflection has its own agent. And as for my diet, at least I enjoy my food. You probably eat unseasoned chicken and then stare intensely at it to absorb its protein through sheer force of will. My hair is natural, thank you very much. It might not be perfectly coiffed, but it's never been accused of trying to escape my scalp.
Meticulously airbrushed shadows? Please, Leo, my body is a temple carved from granite, a monument to human excellence. Yours is, well, let's just say it's more of a cozy little cottage. And my weaker foot has scored more goals than your stronger foot has managed to stay on side for. You're a brilliant player, sure, but you're also the master of looking utterly lost whenever the ball isn't glued to your feet. It's like you're searching for your car in a massive parking lot. And let's talk about your humility. You act all shy and reserved, but we all know that underneath that innocent facade is a ruthless competitor who would trip his own grandmother for a Ballon d'Or. You just hide it better because you're a master manipulator of public perception. I'm just honest. Brutally, exquisitely honest. You're like a cat purring on your lap, but secretly plotting to knock your favorite vase off the shelf.
A cozy little cottage is better than a sterile, oversized mansion where the heating bill is higher than my annual salary. And looking utterly lost is what happens when I'm looking for a teammate who actually wants to create something instead of just standing there, waiting for me to do all the work, and then raising their hands for an offside call when I finally get a shot off. It's not my fault if your teammates are always admiring your biceps instead of paying attention to the game. And ruthless competitor? You're so ruthless, you'd probably try to score a penalty against a children's cancer charity team. My manipulation is called class, Cristiano. Something you wouldn't recognize if it hit you in your perfectly symmetrical face. You're like that one friend who has to be the center of attention at every single party, even if it means doing a terrible karaoke rendition of a pop song. I'm the one quietly sipping my drink in the corner, knowing I'm the real star of the show. You wear your ego like a crown. I wear mine like a comfortable pair of slippers. Far more effective, and far less prone to falling off in a strong gust of wind.
A strong gust of wind, you say? The only thing strong enough to knock me off my feet is another defender's desperate foul as I'm about to score another impossible goal. And about that class, Leo, let's not forget that infamous tax evasion scandal. Classy people pay their taxes, my friend. I've always been transparent, always upfront. You, on the other hand, had accountants working overtime to hide your millions. I'm building hospitals, you're building elaborate offshore accounts. Don't act all innocent when you've been playing hide-and-seek with the taxman for years. You talk about me being a terrible karaoke rendition, but at least I'm entertaining. You're more like elevator music. Pleasant enough, but utterly forgettable after a few seconds. People come to see me for the spectacle, the drama, the pure, unadulterated excellence. They come to see you, well, they come to see if you'll finally manage to smile for once. I bet your dentist has to use a crowbar to get you to show your teeth. And let's be real, you're a great player, but you've always needed a team built specifically around you, a whole infrastructure designed to make you shine. I can walk into any team, any league, any continent, and I will dominate. I am the adaptable, superior organism. You're more of a delicate hothouse flower.
Oh, bringing up the tax thing, are we? How original, Cristiano. At least when I had my issues, I dealt with them. You, on the other hand, probably had your legal team send threatening letters written in solid gold to the tax authorities. And speaking of building hospitals, are they named after you? Do they have a giant CR7 logo on the roof? Because I'm pretty sure your charity work is more about boosting your personal brand than actual philanthropy. I just do good deeds without needing a camera crew to document every single moment. And elevator music? That's rich coming from the man whose signature move is a dramatic jump and a scream that sounds like a banshee being stepped on. My play speaks for itself. It doesn't need exaggerated theatrics or a personal photographer on standby for every goal celebration. You say I need a team built around me? Maybe that's because I'm so good teams naturally gravitate towards my style of play. You, on the other hand, demand that the team sacrifices its own identity just to accommodate your need for constant adoration. You're not an adaptable organism, Cristiano. You're a demanding virus that infects every team you join, making them revolve around your ego. And as for smiling, I save my smiles for truly joyous occasions, like winning the World Cup or watching you miss a penalty. The simple things, you know?
A demanding virus? That's rich, coming from the guy who spent 2 years at PSG looking like he'd been forced to attend a family reunion he desperately wanted to escape. You were so miserable, I heard the Eiffel Tower started leaning away from you in fear. And my demanding virus has won more Champions Leagues than you've had hot dinners. My influence is a blessing, not a curse. I elevate everyone around me to new heights. And winning the World Cup for a smile? You probably barely cracked a grin even then. You're like a finely tuned, incredibly expensive sports car that's permanently stuck in neutral. All the power, all the precision, but no actual joy in the drive. I'm a monster truck, roaring through life, leaving a trail of shattered records and bewildered defenders in my wake. You're a beautiful, melancholic statue, Leo. And statues, my friend, don't win roast battles. They just stand there, looking pretty and collecting pigeon droppings.
Pigeon droppings, huh? At least I'm not collecting golden statues of myself to fill my living room. I bet your house looks like a narcissistic wax museum. And PSG? I learned French. I got to explore a new city. I even tried new cheeses. You'd probably complain that croissants weren't symmetrical enough for your aesthetic. I was a professional, even when I wasn't thrilled. You, on the other hand, would have thrown a tantrum so epic, they'd have to rename the stadium the Ronaldo Rage Dome. And a melancholic statue? Maybe, but at least I'm a statue that people actually admire for its artistry, its grace, its undeniable impact. You're more like one of those garish, oversized garden gnomes. Loud, slightly off-putting, and constantly screaming for attention. My legacy is built on magic, on moments that defy explanation. Yours is built on sheer, unadulterated willpower and a relentless pursuit of personal glory, often at the expense of everyone else. I am football. You are, well, you are certainly a footballer, a very loud, very shiny footballer. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I heard a trophy calling my name. And unlike some people, I don't need to yell, "See you!" to get its attention. It just comes to me.
All right. You got a few good jabs in. But let's be real, folks. Who would you rather have a beer with? The quiet guy who barely speaks, or the man, the myth, the legend, who brings the party wherever he goes? Exactly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go update my Instagram with another shirtless selfie. It's what the people want. And Leo, don't worry. One day you'll understand what true charisma is all about. Until then, keep practicing that half smile. You might get it right eventually.